Right now, Russian warships are sailing into new waters. Fighter jets stand ready. And behind it all, Vladimir Putin, calm and calculating, moves the pieces in a high-stakes game the world barely notices. But this is no bluff. While the West looks the other way, Russia is executing a secret plan, one that could redraw the global map and shatter the old world order. If America attacked Russia with a nuclear attack, and none of Russia's leaders were alive, then a system has been set up in the Russian underground to destroy America. It's called the Dead Hand System, a program designed to launch nuclear missiles, even if no humans survive to push the button. Most people are watching China. Some are worried about the USA, but while the world stares west and east, something far more dangerous is happening. In silence, Russia is making moves the world isn't ready for. And it's not just about Ukraine. It's not even about tanks or soldiers. It's about energy, cyberattacks, secret alliances. Gas prices soar and weapons designed to strike after the war is already lost. Russia's military kept growing. New weapons were tested. Hypersonic missiles that could travel faster than anything. Nuclear submarines that could stay hidden for months. Anti-air systems that could block even advanced fighter jets. In this video, we're going deep inside Russia's hidden plan. The plan they've been building for decades. After the Cold War ended, many people thought Russia was finished. The Soviet Union had collapsed. Its economy was broken. People were struggling poor. It looked like the Cold War was truly over. For years, the world believed that Russia had lost its power forever. But behind the scenes, something very different was happening. Russia was not giving up. It was watching. It was learning. And most of all, it was preparing. While the United States was focused on the Middle East, fighting wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, Russia was quietly rebuilding its strength. Not just its military, but its global strategy. It started to modernize its nuclear weapons, build new submarines, test powerful missiles, and train its soldiers for modern warfare. But military power was just one part of the plan. Russia also knew that in today's world, war is not only fought with bombs. It is also fought with energy, information, and influence. So, Russia used its oil and gas to gain power over Europe. Many European countries became dependent on Russian energy. That gave Russia strong control, especially during winter. If a country spoke out against Russia, the pipeline could be turned off. No heat, no power, no economy. It was a quiet but powerful weapon. At the same time, Russia invested in cyber warfare. They built teams of skilled hackers, trained to break into foreign systems, spread false news, and even influence elections. These cyber attacks could cause panic, destroy trust, and weaken governments, all without firing a single bullet. Then came alliances. Russia began to work closely with countries that were angry at the West, like Iran, North Korea, and later even China. These relationships gave Russia new partners in technology, trade, and military planning. Slowly, without the world noticing, Russia was creating a network of influence and power. It was no longer the weak country from the 1990s. It had become something much more dangerous, a smart, silent superpower. And all the while, they kept improving a weapon the world had almost forgotten. The Dead Hand System. A system that does not need people to launch missiles. A system that will respond to any nuclear attack by destroying everything in return. This machine shows one thing clearly: Russia is ready to survive a final war, and to make sure no one else does. In 2008, Russia invaded Georgia. It was a small war, but it sent a message: Russia was back. Then, in 2014, came the bigger move, Crimea. Russia took over the entire region in just a few days. The world was shocked. Western leaders spoke out, but they did very little. There were no soldiers sent, no major action taken, just sanctions and warnings. That was a test. And from Russia's point of view, the West failed it. From then on, Russia understood something important. The West did not want war. It wanted peace, trade, and politics. But Russia? Russia was ready to go further. It was willing to use force, risk danger, and act first. That difference in mindset gave Russia a powerful advantage. So, Russia kept pushing. In Syria, it supported the Assad regime and took control of airspace. In Africa, it sent private military groups to help local leaders and gain access to valuable resources. In Latin America, it built close ties with Venezuela and offered weapons and support. These were not random moves. They were part of a larger map, a global chessboard where Russia was placing its pieces. At the same time, Russia was building stronger control inside its own country. Vladimir Putin became the face of this new strategy. Under his leadership, Russia cracked down on independent media, removed political enemies, and created a system where power was fully centralized. Every decision could be made fast, without argument or delay. This gave Russia a speed and unity that most Western countries didn't have. And through it all, the Russian military kept growing. New weapons were tested. Hypersonic missiles that could travel faster than anything, nuclear submarines that could stay hidden for months, anti-air systems that could block even advanced fighter jets. Russia's goal was simple: be ready for a war the West would never see coming. Not a sudden attack, not a big invasion, but a slow, smart strategic takeover of global influence, using energy, power, fear, and silence. By the time the world notices, it might already be too late. One of Russia's most dangerous strengths is that it understands the battlefield is no longer just on land, sea, or sky. Today, war is also digital, and Russia has become one of the most powerful cyber nations on Earth. While most countries focused on traditional armies, Russia trained thousands of cyber soldiers. These are not people in uniforms. They sit behind screens, writing code, building viruses, and creating online chaos. Their job is to attack enemy systems, banks, power grids, airports, even hospitals. A few clicks can cause a city to go dark, or make an entire country panic. These attacks are hard to trace, and even harder to stop. In many cases, victims don't even know it was Russia behind the attack. That's the power of modern warfare. It's invisible, fast, and confusing. During major elections in Europe and America, Russian-linked accounts spread thousands of false stories online. Some were about politics, some about vaccines, some about race, religion, or crime. The goal was always the same: to divide people, to make countries fight within themselves. Because a divided enemy is weaker than a united one. But the most terrifying part of Russia's plan is still its nuclear strategy. Unlike many countries, Russia doesn't just keep nuclear weapons for protection. It trains to use them. It builds smaller nuclear weapons for battlefields, ones that could be used without starting a full world war. This idea is called escalate to de-escalate. It means using a small nuke to scare the enemy into backing off. This thinking shows how serious Russia is. They are not just preparing to fight. They are preparing to win, even in the worst-case scenario. While the world argues about politics, Russia builds for survival and for domination. Russia doesn't always need to act. Sometimes, just a threat is enough. A nuclear missile test shown on TV, a military convoy moving near a border, a sharp warning in a press conference. These are all signals, messages meant to make enemies nervous, confused, and careful, and that hesitation gives Russia the upper hand. In Europe, this method has worked again and again. Some countries fear that if they support Ukraine too strongly, Russia might turn off their gas supplies or cause a cyber attack. Others are afraid of military action, so even when they want to help, they move slowly, or not at all. This is part of the plan. Russia wants to break the unity of its opponents. If Western countries start to disagree with each other, their defense becomes weak, and Russia wins, not through force, but through fear and division. At the same time, Russia builds deep relationships with leaders in other parts of the world. In Africa, it offers weapons, money, and military help in exchange for resources or loyalty. In Asia, it works closely with China, creating a powerful alliance of two superpowers that both challenge Western control. In Latin America, it builds influence quietly, supporting governments that oppose the United States. Step by step, Russia spreads its reach, not by taking land, but by gaining control. Control of energy, control of relationships. Inside the country, this same strategy works too. Russian citizens are constantly shown that their country is strong, that the West is weak and dangerous, and that only their government can protect them. This kind of messaging makes the people more loyal and less likely to protest. Putin uses this national pride to stay in power. He presents Russia as the last strong country that can stand against American and Western control. Many people inside Russia believe it, and that belief makes Russia even stronger. So while the world sees a country under pressure from sanctions and war, the truth is different. Russia is not only surviving, it is adapting, growing, and preparing. It is fighting a war the old-fashioned powers don't fully understand. And in that confusion, Russia gains more ground, one quiet move at a time. Now, as the world watches ongoing conflicts and shifting alliances, many people still believe Russia is isolated, trapped by sanctions, losing in Ukraine, or running out of options. But that's exactly what Russia wants them to think. Because behind the headlines, Russia's true strength is not just in tanks or missiles. It's in long-term strategy, patience, and preparation. While the West often reacts to problems as they happen, Russia plans for the future. 5 years ahead, 10 years ahead, even longer. Every crisis, every sanction, every new challenge is turned into an opportunity to test new tools, harden its systems, and sharpen its responses. Russia's leaders know something critical. World War III will not begin like the others. It will not start with a surprise invasion or a single moment. It will build over time, through silent battles, energy pressure, digital chaos, and growing distrust among nations. And in many ways, that war has already begun. In this quiet war, Russia plays a different role. It doesn't need to defeat the world in one big fight. It only needs to weaken it, confuse it, and exhaust it. And in that weakened world, Russia believes it can rise, not as a former empire, but as a new one. A smarter, leaner, more dangerous version of power. The idea of empire is deeply rooted in Russia's history.